Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from The Right Way. I've been away from YouTube for quite a while due to in real life stuff happening, but I've just come back and ready to make some more videos for anyone that might be interested in watching them. So this one is about New Zealand, so it's mainly for any New Zealand viewers, but some of you out there in international land might be interested. So I got another left-wing biased article from the Stuff website about it's time for unity, not division. For those of you not in New Zealand, we now have a bunch of demonstrations happening against the government vaccine mandates, and the left-wing mainstream media is in cahoots with the government to try and portray them as no-hopers, feral people, anti-vaxxers, that kind of stuff, when it's very far from the truth. Now, personally, I am for vaccination. I am double vaxxed and boosted because I believe that it will prevent me from getting too sick from catching Omicron. But I completely respect your right to not get vaccinated if you don't want to, and I don't believe that you should be forced to lose your job because you don't want to get vaccinated. But anyway, let's have a look at this article from a person called Lisa Tumahai. She is the chair of Te Runanga o Ngāti Tahu. So this is a iwi Maori tribe. She's obviously some chair of that particular group, and she's co-chair of the National Iwi Chairs Forum Pandemic Response Group. So she's basically part of Ngāi Tahu. After fighting a pandemic together for the past 2 years, it's natural for New Zealanders to have COVID fatigue. Life has been difficult for us all. Not really, it's been difficult for a lot of people, but a lot of people like government employees, like yourself, Lisa Tumahai, probably have been paid, even though a lot of people that run businesses and so on are going to the wall because of the vaccine mandates and the way that the government has run the country. And everything is coming home to roost now that we have Omicron. All we've done is we've put off the eventual pandemic that's wave that was going to come. We've just pushed it out further and further back, and now it's upon us. But people like this person, Lisa Tumahai, probably hasn't been through any hardship because she's on this Maori tribe, which got huge amounts of money from the government through their settlements and so on. The government has indicated that the mandates will ease in the future, but they won't tell us when. Why don't they just come out and tell us when it's going to be, right? But as cases of Omicron continue to spread rapidly around the motu, so that's the country, and more people become sick, now is not a time to be divided. Instead, we must spread manaaki, support, and aroha, which is love, as we unite to keep our whānau, family, and friends safe. So basically, don't protest, just do what you're told and support the government is basically what she's saying, because she is a government stooge, right? Left-wing government stooge, basically. Over the past few months, we've seen a series of protests opposing COVID-19 mandates spread from Wellington to other parts of the country. And good on those protesters. I totally support your right to protest, even though some of element has been, taking things to the extreme limit, which I don't support. Things like doing things illegally, assaulting the police, that kind of stuff. But you only hear about that stuff because the mainstream media only reports that stuff. They don't report all the other well-behaved people at the protests just protesting peacefully. We never get to hear about that. While my heart goes out to those who aren't vaccinated and are finding the restrictions challenging, what started as a group of New Zealanders peacefully protesting has at times evolved into unacceptable, violent and abusive behaviour, with police and public figures often bearing the brunt of the angst. You know why, Lisa Tumahai? It's because the government couldn't be bothered to come out and talk to the protesters. When you don't give any communication, then of course things are going to rise and become more testy. If the government had just come out and talked to them, it would never have got to this stage. But the government being so arrogant and thinking that they're completely right all the time, this is what has happened. And this is the only way that New Zealanders can make a point, is by doing protests like this, because the government doesn't take their hopes and their dreams into consideration anymore. And there are also a lot of vaccinated people at the protest as well. This week, Jacinda Ardern visited our school, tribal territory within our iwi. Her trip marked a visit to Tuawhi School, which is located in the village of Nai Tuahuri, north of Rangiora Otautahi, which is Christchurch. Of course, there's lots of Maori language in this because it's written by a person from Ngāi Tahu. I was shocked and saddened to see footage of protesters shouting abuse at the Prime Minister as she left the special school where children deserve to feel safe. Oh my God, the Prime Minister can't even handle some shouted abuse at her. Does Lisa Tūmahai know what the National Party, John Key and his National Party ministers had to go through? Do you remember this, Lisa Tūmahai? A woman threw a dildo at Jerry Brownlee, which hit him in the face, and a person also poured brown mud over a minister as well. The Christchurch nurse who threw a dildo at Cabinet Minister, it was Stephen Joyce, not Jerry Brownlee. Stephen Joyce at Waitangi has rebuffed Don Brash's claims that she escaped prosecution because she was Maori and female. Of course she escaped prosecution because she was Maori and female. There's no other reason why. Basically, it's assault. She threw a pink dildo, hit him in the face. That class should be classed as assault. Right? Nothing as bad, that's much worse than having some abuse shouted at them, Lisa Tūmahai. You are so one-eyed lefty in your opinions. You couldn't even bring this up that it happens to people on the right as well. Where were you back then? Did you laugh when that happened to Stephen Joyce? Or did you go out and write a piece saying we need to have unity and not this sort of divisive thing which leftists are very good at actually doing? There's another bit here where she talks about it is time for us to focus on what is most important right now as COVID spreads. I don't know what he tangata means. I'm not Maori. I don't really care. I know New Zealand is a strong result, but we'll only overcome COVID-19 if we end the infighting and support one another with whatever that means. No, we'll only overcome COVID-19 if the government starts to let us live our lives normally, because it's going to become endemic. Already we're at the stage of what's the point of scanning in at every place we visit, because you're not going to be able to upload any places of interest anymore. There's absolutely no reason to continue scanning in New Zealand. Just ridiculous. But again, these leftist people, they never look at when the left do things to the right. It's okay for the left to do it, but it's not okay for the people on the right to do it. They think of all the protesters as far-right people because it goes against their left narrative about vaccine mandates and controlling the populace, which is essentially what they are after. Anyway, just thought I'd bring this up. Again, it just shows you the biased ideas coming out of mainstream media, and we need to have more people, more of our voices coming through to give a different point of view. So if you're like me, you're interested in this kind of stuff, start your own YouTube channel. You don't need to put your face on it like me. You can just be anonymous. Just use voice and screen share. You can use something like OBS Studio, which will help you to record your screen and produce your videos for you. I highly recommend you get into it. It's going to take ages to build up a following. I mean, I've only got like 13 subscribers. So, you know, if I get 13 people listening, watching a video, that's really cool for me. I'm quite happy with that. And if it gets bigger, it'll be just a bonus. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section. Do you think Lisa Tūmahai is right and we need to stop being divisive and get behind the government and do exactly as we're told? Or do you think we should be allowed our right to protest when we think the government isn't doing something correctly, and we need to be able to tell them that it's not right? Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe as well. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next video, and I promise that I'll be starting to do more regular content now. Alright, well, that's it from me. Hopefully I'll catch you next time.